Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And you would, naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure, see. And after several nights, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Well, something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now.
Shalom! If you're watching this, I hope you're doing well. I am at Hoosier National Forest, and I'm at the top of a fire tower, kind of shitting myself right now, to be honest with you. It's oh look, here. I can go up one more little, ow. Okay, this is better. All right. So the plan is to do about 8 miles again, just like Lake Vesuvius camp, then head back to Cincinnati. Let me show you some of these views. I mean, it is. Here, look at that. It is beautiful out here and cold, but this should be a good hike. I'll bring you back in a bit. Three miles in. I'd love to take more pictures to post, but unlike Lake Vesuvius, which is full of views, I mean, this is basically all I've got so far. It's beautiful with all the dead leaves and everything, but it's pretty easy to get bored of pictures of dead leaves. So you gotta put up with my ugly face for a minute or two. Thinking I got like another 1.5 miles to the campsite. Not bad at all. It's 1:30, so that'll give me plenty of time to get some wood together, because it's all damp. Everything's damp around here. Everything's rainy. That just means it's a challenge to get a fire going, but that's part of the fun of it. Just got to the campsite and I am stoked. Wait for it. Look what's on my doorstep. Isn't this beautiful? Now the wind coming off of it isn't gonna feel so good, but I think it'll be nice and warm. Dinner tonight is Mountain House chili mac and beef, and it looks like we got our boiling water already. Yes, we do. All right, now we add this. Give it a good stir. Reseal it. Now it's going to basically cook itself in there. Alright, so 5 minutes. 5:07, stir it again, and then another 4 minutes. So I will bring you back when I'm eating it for a food. Chili mac and beef is ready. I figured it would be nicer if I set the camera up so you can see the pond in the background. Alright, let's see what this is all about. Okay. I remember 10 years ago, you had Mountain House. There was like 1 or 2 other companies. Packet Gourmet is a really good one. They've been around for a while too. But, sorry, this stuff is hot. Now there's like 30 different companies that are doing backpacking meals. So there must be a market, which means there must be a lot more backpackers nowadays. Although, hiking out here so far, I've seen the guy dressed like a pumpkin, guy and his girlfriend hiking out, and then about 10 minutes ago, right after I filmed the last video, a group of like 6 elderly gentlemen came by, and for some reason they wanted to check the level of that pond. Not sure why, but they were nice. Looks like they're only doing a day hike though, so I think I've got this place all to myself tonight. It is getting very cold though and very windy, so I am going to wolf this food down and then get a fire going. Oh yeah, as for the review, fucking delicious. But then again, almost anything is after you've been hiking half the day and spent an hour and a half gathering firewood and you're a little worn down, so. That's my just review. Like that, toasty warm. Toasty.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down. All around this empty town, we're searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Just stare, cause the flames won't burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Kiss your head when you cry for me. Hold you on while the pain was over. You fall by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas.
All right, back in the tent. I had that fire going for nearly 5 hours, so I am proud of myself for that. Now I'm going to tell just one story and a quick story. My buddy who watched my video was like, dude, your story time last time was too long, so I'm only going to tell one story. And this is nothing to do with backpacking. This is when I studied abroad back in 2013. We'll preface by saying I had been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for at least 2 years before this trip happened, and that came in handy. So this is the story of how I was attacked by 3 carnies in Czech Republic, and that is the reason I chose to study American Sign Language for my language in college. So, Czech Republic was, I think, it was the first country that my group visited when I went to study abroad. And on our last night, the group went to, there was a carnival in Prague, like this open air carnival, like in the city. And it started when me and some of my friends in the group got on the Ferris wheel. And the carny that was operating it, every time we would come around, like down to the bottom, he would make some like anti-American joke. I don't remember what he was saying, but I remember like the first comment he made, I was like, okay, this guy doesn't like Americans. So I was just like joking with him, like, yeah, buddy. Like, hi, everything's great. Like, you know, not giving him anything back. So we get off the Ferris wheel and maybe an hour goes by or something like that. Our group, so there's 10 or 11 of us in the group, we gather together by a bathroom, and the plan is whoever has to go to the bathroom goes to the bathroom, and then we're going to leave, because at that point the carnival was like shutting down. It was basically like a ghost town. So I go to the bathroom, and I come out of the bathroom, and all the girls in the group some of them are crying. They're all huddled together, like upset. So I immediately walk over. I'm like, what's going on? What happened? So when I was in the bathroom, a stray dog went running by them through this carnival. And lo and behold, the carny that hates Americans was close by. They asked him, whose dog is that? Is that someone's dog? Is that a stray dog? And he told them, once you leave, I'm going to kill that dog and eat it. Just being a total dickhead. So it upset them. So they recount the story to me, and I see him 30 feet away. He's with 2 of his buddies, kind of looking in our direction. So I give him the old one of those, and he starts coming towards me, and I stand there like, fuck you, dude, fuck you. You know, what are you, like, why, or what are you doing messing with my, like, what are you doing, man? You're just a dick. So we start jawing at each other. 2 of the guys in my group, Alex and Nick, they get in front of me. His 2 buddies get in front of him, so separated. Still, talking shit to each other. Nick grabs me by the shoulder and goes, let's walk away, bud. It's like, all right. So we start walking away, and we get 10 yards, 15 yards, and I hear a girl in the group, Kristen, I hear her shriek. So I kind of look at Nick, and I go, is he coming after me? And Nick turns around and he goes, yeah. So immediately I get away from Nick. I turn around, and this carny, he's a lot bigger than me. 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's coming towards me. By the time I turn around, he's maybe 10 feet away. He comes up to me and immediately does one of these on my throat, like grabs my throat like this. And the reason I preface the story by saying I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 2 years before that, because we train if someone grabs you by the collar or grabs your throat. So I break the grip, and then I grab him in what's called a Thai plum. So I've got my wrists on his shoulder blades. I've got my hands behind his head. And the second I get that, I start pulling him down towards me. And with my right foot, I offset his balance and basically bring him down to the ground. In these moments, you revert to training. Like when adrenaline's going, whatever training you have is what you revert to. There's no time to think like, oh, I'm going to do this and this. You just, and any training you have, fight or flight, you just revert to that. So he's going down, and I immediately get my right leg up in the air because this guy's attacking me, so I'm going to stomp on him. Like, I'm going to eliminate the threat. My plan was to stomp on his head. That's what I was in the motion to do. I know it sounds terrible now, but like, I'm getting attacked by this guy, and this is how I'm reacting. So my right foot goes up in the air, and then next thing I know, I'm on the ground. Like, whoosh, on the ground. My head's on the ground. Cover up immediately like that. What happened was, when I got him like this and offset his balance to bring him down, his two carny friends came around behind me and they just lifted my legs up. So I go down on my back, and thank God, shout out to Jim Kelly, best jiu-jitsu instructor in the world. The second I hit the ground, immediately I turtle up. A second after I turtle up, I'm getting kicked. Feet, stomps, kicks. Everyone at that point in the group comes running up. Everyone's screaming, yelling. The big bully carny guy, he gets up, starts yelling. I'm still covering up. People in the group were able to pull people away. I get help to my feet. The big carny's like, I'm going to fucking kill you, all this stuff. Whatever. So at that point, I'm a little rocked. Like, I was able to block, I think, most of the kicks, but I'm still a little bit dizzy. I think that if I wouldn't have blocked myself like this, I would probably have been knocked out completely. So I get up, I'm wobbly. My group gets me away, gets us away. I can still hear the carny guy fucking yelling. And that was the end of the fight. So we're walking out towards the very front of the carnival. And this girl comes up to me. And she gets right in front of me. She looks me in the eyes. And motions me to go with her, grabs my arm, pulls me towards her. Her friends are standing by the exit. They all come around me, and they all just give me a big hug. And it was crazy, because like, they could tell that I was distraught, that something had just happened. Like, my shirt's ripped, I'm like a little woozy. They all just give me this really big hug. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell is going on? Because they didn't say a word to me. Like, this happened. Kristen, the girl who shrieked, who alerted me, she was taking sign language. So after this big hug, and I look at this girl and we start walking away, Kristen comes up to me and says, they're deaf. They could tell something was wrong, and so they wanted to comfort you. So that was like such a profound moment. I was like, these people don't know me. They know I was distraught. They gave me a big hug. So I was like, I had to pick a language for college. That was my freshman year going to sophomore year. I needed a language to study. So that moment, I decided I was going to learn American Sign Language. So I did. That was my language in college. So it was a crazy start to the study abroad trip, let me tell you. I'm going to save the Dublin story, the Amsterdam story, the Harlexton Manor in England story for another time. But that was quite the adventure. And I'll never forget that. Minus the couple of moments I was getting stomped on and may have, gotten rattled. But that's my story for the night. I'm in the tent now. It's 42 degrees. The wind is a bitch, though. So I'm going to hunker down. I'm going to enjoy some more wine. I'm going to watch Beer Fest. I've got downloaded on my phone. I'll get to sleep, and then in the morning, break down camp, hike out to the car, same as last time, and go back to Cincinnati. So thank you for watching so far, and hopefully you'll follow me to the end. Have a good night. Good morning. It's almost 8 a.m. It's 35 degrees, so I don't want to get out of my sleeping bag, but gotta get back home. Wish me luck. Well, that'll do it for Hoosier National Forest. Had a really good night of sleep. Stayed nice and warm, even though it got down to right around freezing. So now it's just time to hike out and go back to the car and drive home. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.